Got another one. That are wrapped around a tree, I can't tell. No, that's fish. Got him. What is that? We got that one. Welcome back, everybody. So it wasn't that long ago that we ended up fishing with a brand new Berkley Flux Gill and did pretty well with it. So I figured, why not go out and fish with another bluegill style bait and see if we don't do somewhat similar. So that's what we're doing. We're going out to fish with the Gilly. I've never fished it before. Obviously it's a hyper realistic looking bait, but let's tie it on and get out there and see if we can't catch a couple. But before I forget, we are still doing our lure giveaway, so make sure to stay to the end of the video to hear a little bit more about that. Let's get after it. All right, so this is what they look like. Again, we got the HD version of a bluegill and looks crazy realistic. Obviously, this little honeycomb pattern is going to give it a ton of action. From what I understand, you very much rig it kind of the same way as we did with the Flux Gill. It's just going to be kind of rigged sideways, and we're going to fish it again on a free rig because that's what did very well for us last time, and see if we can't get into these guys. This wasn't crazy expensive. I don't know what they were when they were brand new, but they've been out for a little bit of time, and I was able to find a deal of these, I think, on Tackle Warehouse. I think they were only a few bucks, maybe $5 or something like that. So let's start chucking around, see if we can't get into a couple fish. There's a little bit of extra space in there, a little bit of free space, so that should make hookups a little bit easier. So that's good. But let's get it rigged up and see if we can't catch a couple. Got a bite. Got him. Oh, there we go. Look at that. I was getting ready to switch on over from the free rig to... Oh! He threw off half the lure. What in the world? One fish? Not even a big one. Threw it off. I think we can get it, but there we go. What in the world? We gotta let him go. There's the other half of it right there. Oh, oh. Come back. Come back, lure. I've got a paddle. I don't know what I'm doing. We had him all the way up until he shook at the very end. And this guy came undone. I guess that kind of... I don't know how you guys can see that. But I guess that kind of shows how thin that stuff is, and obviously how flexible it is, which is great for movement. But what in the world? We're down to 2, which is not great. I mean, I didn't pay full price for them, so that's great, but that wasn't even... Oh, that was right where... No, that wouldn't have even been... That was right where the hook was. Just shook it completely loose. I wonder if I should... I do have a smaller hook. Maybe I'll use that. This is a 5/0, and it just barely went through this thinner plastic stuff. I have to check if I have a 5 or a 4/0, and maybe it'll go through that body and sit better. Well, that was disappointing. We'll check. But we caught a fish, so that's great. These clearly work. Even if they aren't super durable, I'd recommend definitely getting a hook that sits in the meat of the plastic instead of that little honeycomb. Wow. All right. There's one. All right. I didn't have a 4/0, but I did have a 3/0. So that's what we got on there. The 3/0 fits pretty nicely, actually. Surprisingly, a lot of Berkley and everything else like that, they tell you what size to use or what would be best or where to start. This is the 110 millimeter, and it doesn't say the best size, which is kind of different. But a 3/0 fits pretty well. It kind of gets protected by this little fin too, so I don't know if that's going to be good or bad for a hookup ratio, but we will see. If we miss a fish or two, we'll switch on over to the 5 because I'd rather tear up a couple baits and catch some fish than miss a bunch of fish. So we'll see how this works. But that was our first fish. Not too shabby. Don't have a ton of time left to fish, but let's see if we can't catch some more. Welcome back, everybody. So this is day 2 of us fishing with the Gilly. The other day we had a couple bites, only caught one fish, but we only had like 30 to 45 minutes of actual light before sunset. So we have a little bit more time today, so hopefully we're able to get into a couple fish before we end up losing them all. I think we only have 2 more, so let's get after it. That one. Yep. Decent one on the Gilly. Smoked that thing. Oh. Decent one on the Gilly. It's probably a 3 1/4. I saw him roll it over. That's awesome. And that is with the 3/0, so it held up enough to catch that one. This is... Welcome back, everybody. So this is our 3rd day fishing with the Gilly, and probably the last, to be honest. It is getting very, very cold here in Wisconsin. I think today is like a high of like 48, even though I'm in shorts. So catching fish on these bigger baits is getting much more difficult. In all honesty, I probably should have got the smaller Gilly, and it probably would have been a lot easier. But the past couple days we have caught a fish each day, so it's not over. But I'm sure the fish that we're trying to catch with this is drastically reduced. So let's go out, see if we can't catch a couple fish on our last day of using this. Maybe we'll get a big one. Who knows? There's one. Oh my! Oh, that was a pike for sure, without a doubt. The way that thing took off, holy cow! I'm surprised it didn't get bit in half though. He bit there, and by the time I set the hook, he was like there. That was crazy. This didn't get bit at all though. There's no way that was a bass, but that's kind of unfortunate. We missed that one. I'm not honestly too concerned about these things lasting, because this is probably the last day we're going to be able to go ahead and throw them. So I might switch on over to that 5/0 hook, and if they get destroyed on one fish, it just is what it is. That's kind of disappointing we missed that one though. It didn't seem like a bad fish. Whether it was a pike or a bass, I can almost guarantee it was a pike, but... Got one. Ooh, what was that? I don't know if that was a pike or a bass, but it was big. I think it was a pike again. How did we miss that one? It didn't tear it up either. If that was a bass, I swear that was massive. We threw on the free rig. Hooks exposed. Bait's not destroyed. I don't know if these are bass or pike. That thing rolled though. It looked massive. It could have been a pike, but it's not often that you have a pike get a hold of a soft plastic and not look absolutely destroyed. That's our second one. If that was a bass, that was probably 5. That was huge. Oh my. That hurts. On a day when we're getting so few bites too. And it's blowing at like 20 some miles an hour. Got another one? That or we're wrapped around a tree, I can't tell. No, that's fish. Got him. What is that? We got that one. Is it a bass? That is a bass. That's a good bass. Oh my. Oh, we blipped him. Is that? Oh, I don't think that's a 4. I think that's like a 3 and a. It's like a 3.5. That was right next to that other one. Look how green he is. That is crazy. We'll have to weigh him. I don't think that's a 4. I'm going 340. But man, I wonder if that other one was a big one too. It looked just as green, but all right, well, maybe this is the Gilly. All right, let's get this guy weighed up and then we'll release him. All right, zeroed out. See what she weighs. So I'm going 340. I think it's pretty solid. Bet 322, just under. All right, we'll get her down as close as we can. Let her go as decently as we possibly can. Ooh, I'm not going any further. I'll fall in. Thank you. All right, well, there's two out there that are decent sized. Maybe we can get another one. That first one, that might have been a 5-pound bass. All right. I hate fishing in this wind, but if the fish are biting, we'll do it. We did tear this guy up a little bit, so I don't think she's going to make it through a second fish. But what I think is absolutely wild is we were throwing the Texas rig all afternoon so far, which hasn't been too long, but we had that one bite and that's it. Threw on the free rig and almost on back-to-back casts had fish bite. It could have been, you know, obviously placement of where we put that lure, but at the same time, it is interesting, and maybe it's just, again, that free rig is just superior in certain situations. But see if we can't get another one. I want to get that first one that we had, because the way that thing rolled, it was so much bigger than the one we just caught. Got one. That's not a big one. Oh, he threw it. Man. Shoot, that was not a big one. That was probably a 2.5, I would say. Man, they are eating this thing up like crazy. And again, all on the free rig. And short of that first one, I don't think we've had a single pike. Man. If we could have put together a little bit more of a consistent day and actually hooked up with and kept a few more of these fish pegged, this would be a heck of a day. Probably 3-4 fish over 2.5 pounds. All in one area too. Got one. Yep. Little guy. What in the world are you doing? Silly guy. There we go. Oh, he's the one that tore up the Gilly. Little one. Probably just over a pound. What in the world? Oh, I don't know if we can salvage this guy now. We'll try. He's gonna look like an interesting looking bluegill, that's for sure. All right, there's another one. I don't think he's gonna make it. It's definitely gonna fall differently now too, but here we go. Would have liked another 3-4 pounder, but I'm a little surprised at how small that one was. And you want to eat this thing. A 4, I think it's a 4.5 or something like that inch gill. Like, that's kind of big for bass this late. There's one. Did he drop it? No, he's got it. Oh boy. We missed that one. We missed that one badly. Oh, it set back into the bait. Shoot. That's rough. All right. Man, that felt like a good one too. Well, that is it for today. I don't think we were going to get many more bites because those fish are just stacked up. There's some timber in the water. You can feel it. So I don't think there are going to be too many more bites unless we stayed here for quite a while. So that'll be about it for today. We did not catch our 4-pounder, so let's get back to the house, talk about it, and throw another lure in the box. All right, we made it back home after fishing our Gilly. As you can tell, there's only 3 that come in this package, and we've gone through all of them. I started off using the 5/0, and we lost a Gilly on the first fish that we caught. Switching on over to a 3/0 hook, I don't think you had the greatest hookup ratio, but it fit better in there. So I think there's a little bit of play as to, you know, whether you want more durability or if you want to hook up with those fish better. I personally would probably use the 5/0, but you're going to tear through these things pretty darn quickly. A 4/0 might have been perfect, but we didn't have one of those. So as far as the Gilly goes, it reminded me a lot of the Flux Gill. Just a very, very bluegill type pattern, and had a very, very slow descent because of that. We hooked this guy on the free rig, and it did so well, just like the Flux Gill did. The free rig is becoming quickly one of my favorite rigs. I've thrown Texas forever. Most people have. And we started off today throwing the Texas rig and ended up with 1 bite in a fair amount of time fishing. Switched on over the free rig and had many bites instantaneously, which is so crazy to me that it makes that much of a difference in that. But if you've never used the free rig, I would 100% encourage you to try it at least. But that being said, we had caught fish on the Gilly every single trip we had gone out. This is the 110. I kind of wish I would have gotten the smaller one. The 110 in fall in Wisconsin is probably getting a little bit on the big side. Clearly today they absolutely ate it, and we caught a tiny one on top of it. So today it didn't matter, but I would have liked the smaller one. I think it's a 90 or maybe 100 millimeter, but just a little bit smaller, and we probably would have gotten a lot more fish to bite. But we had some big ones to bite today, and I can almost guarantee, I think it was our second bite, that fish was over 4 pounds. That would have been our lure giveaway fish, undoubtedly. I thought it was a pike from how big the boil was, but after getting the bait back unscathed, I'm pretty sure that was a bass, and I bet it was probably pushing 5 pounds. So that's unfortunate, but they're still biting, which is great. I like this bait a lot. I wish there was a little bit more durability. Obviously, it's got great action and a ton of flexibility in that tail, but that's because that plastic through there is so thin, which is obviously why we tore up so many of them using the 5/0. A 4/0 probably would have been a little bit better. Probably would have fit it pretty much perfect. I think the 3/0, you ended up not as great of a hookup ratio because this plastic in the body is actually pretty thick. So that being said, if I find these on sale, I will most certainly buy some more, but for 3 of them paying full price, I don't know if I would do that. But if you're new to the channel, though, we are doing a giveaway for a box of lures, which is overflowing at this point in time. Basically, every video that we've had for quite a while now, up until December 1st, we are putting a lure in the box for every video that we do not catch a 4-pounder. And whichever happens first, either December 1st or we catch a 4-pounder, that video, it'll be given away. So make sure to like, comment, share, follow along to, 1, know what's in the box or what we're giving away or you could potentially win. And then 2, when we're giving away, because I don't even know when that's going to happen. It almost happened today. We will be doing that giveaway over on Instagram, so obviously follow along over there. And once we do catch that 4-pounder, the rules for all that will be over there. But that being said, last video we gave, or we put in a swim jig in there. We've got some other jigs in there. So seems very appropriate to make sure that everybody has everything they need. And we're going to go ahead and put a little craw trailer in there. Can't really throw a jig without some sort of trailer, or at least I don't. But so we'll throw that in there. Again, our box is absolutely overflowing. We have well over $100 worth of lures in there, probably nearing close to $150 at this point in time. But if you guys like the video, if you wouldn't mind liking, and if you want to see more videos like it, if you wouldn't mind subscribing, that'd be greatly appreciated also. Till next one.